Hi everyone and welcome to this part 4 of this mini-series about how to create a 2D RPG with Godot 4. Today we're going to take a look at how we can create animation with an animation tree and how we can set it through code. This for me is a better approach to create animation in a 2D RPG. This is an extract of my actual new Godot 4 Udemy course where we're going to learn how to make 2 games using Godot 4 and I will leave a link in the description of this video with a discount that is valid today. And of course, as always, I will update that course during the year because there's lots of stuff that are going to change or that's going to be like different in Godot 4, so I will keep it updated. You will also find in the description of this video a link to my game Lone Knight that is available on Steam for wishlist, and so if you can do it, that would be great. That helps me a lot too. So now let's get coding. So now that we have made our sword animation, we're going to be able to work on the animation tree because we're not going to use that script that we have used here. Like I'm not going to use the update move anim that we have created here. This was for showing you one way to get a direction into RPG, which is going to be very useful when you want to create, for example, enemy and you want to have the animation of the enemy that are facing the right direction they are moving in. But us, what we're going to do is we're going to use something here that is called an animation tree. So for that, we're going to go back into our player scene that is here, and I'm going to click on the plus icon here, and I'm going to look for an animation tree. So in animation tree, you can see already that we have like a little warning here. We have like two warning. We have the fact that the root animation node for the graph is not, there's no root animation node that is set, and we don't have also an animation path. So for that, what we can do is like we click on our animation tree, and here first tree root, you can see that we have something here called empty. If we click on it, we have like a selection of different tree root we can select that we can select here. And what I want to do here is like I want to select the new animation node state machine. This is the one that we're going to use, and you can see that when we are creating that, we have that sort of like window that pops up at the bottom, and this is what's going to handle the different state of our player in all the direction. It's going to be very clear very soon. The second thing I want to do is like we still have a warning, and this is because the animation tree can't find what is holding our animation. What is holding our animation is the animation player that we have created here. So we just need to click on animation tree here, and we need on anim player, we need to come here, assign, and we need to take our node anim and click on OK. And so now that we have that, we have the animation tree that is almost set up. Now what we need to do is we need to click here on active because we can see that we have a warning here. Animation tree is inactive. To enable playback, check mode warning if activation fails. So here we need to go to active, still with our animation tree selected. We need to go to active and click on. And so now that we have that, we can start to actually create our different state. So our animation, so our player has different state. We have like idle, we have sword, and we have walk. I'm doing that now because one thing that is important to notice is that when you are creating the animation tree and the animation tree is active, you can't anymore automatically modified what's going on in the animation player because the animation tree is overriding the animation player. So if for example we were looking to make to key the collision shape of the sword like we did in the last video, if we were looking to do that when the animation tree is active, it wouldn't have been possible. The collision shape of the sword would have always come back to where it has been like set before we create the animation tree. It's very important to understand that if you want to make some modification here, so for example, if I want to go to my sword right and I want to move that collision shape here, for example, I need to go to animation tree and I need to tick off an active, because if you try to do it, it will create errors and you will not be able to key your animation. That's why I've done that. That's why I've created that sword video before. So now that we have done that, here we're gonna jump into how we can create our state machine. So the first thing here is like when we click on our animation tree, you can see that here we have that space. If I right click, you can see that I can add animation, add blend tree, add blend space 1 2D, add blend space 2D, add state machine. Here I'm gonna create a blend space 2D, and that blend space 2D here I'm gonna name it idle. Then I'm gonna add another one. This one is going to be walk. I'm just going to move it here. And then I'm going to create another one. It's going to be called sword. Voila, sword. And so now that I have done that, if I click on that pencil icon here, it leads me to that very, very frightening graph. And you're like wondering what's going on here. What is that? This is basically a matrix that has been created by Godot, and I'm going to help Godot to see in which direction our player is facing, basically. So here the thing that is important to understand is like we will have an animation. For example, here we will have the left, here we will have down, here we will have right, and here we will have up. And depending where we are on that graph, where our player is on that graph, depending the input that we are typing, it will move automatically the animation into the right direction. So how do we do that? First, we need to come here and we need to click. So here we need to come here and we need to make a left click, and you can see that if I make a left click, I have add animation. So here, because we are in the idle and I am on the left side, I want to create idle left. Now I can come here and I can do left click, add animation, and then I can do idle right. And then here, like what we want to do is like here at the, when we are at the top, we want actually to go down, because that's how the animation tree is set up in Godot. And so here we need to put idle down, and then here we need to put idle up. And so now that we have done that, we will have our animation. That will go into the right direction automatically. The last thing we need to do is like we need to set up the blend space to those little 3 dots here. This is like a blend space that is made for 2D, and that's gonna help us to get the right direction from the input of our player. So now that we have done that, we can go back to the root, and here I can click on that play button, and if I click here on the pencil and I come here and I toggle that button here with the target icon, if I move that sort of like blue target here, you can see that if I move it down, it goes up, here it goes left, here it goes down, here it goes right. So our blend space is working. I'm just gonna re-put it here, and to put it very precisely, I just have to click on animation tree, and now I need to go here to parameter, and you can see that I have access to the state machine that I've created here, because this, what we have created here, is basically a state machine. And so I'm just gonna click here, and I'm gonna go to idle, and here when I unfold idle, the submenu, you can see blend position. I'm just gonna put it like this, voila. And here I can just set it up to 0 and 0, so like this, we're good. Okay, so now that I have done that, I can just like click on this one here, so like this, we are not too much distracted by the animation, and I can come here to work. And here I'm gonna do the exact same, so I'm gonna click here on that pencil create point icon, I'm gonna left click, add animation, and I'm gonna go here, so walk left. Here I'm gonna go, it's gonna be walk down. Here is gonna be walk right. And here is gonna be walk up. Voila. Now I'm just gonna go back to my root folder. I'm gonna click on the play button, and I'm gonna go here to by clicking on the pencil icon. I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I've done before. I just want to check if the animation is all right, and you can see the animation is not all right because of one thing. We haven't put our blend space to the little 3 dot. So now let's see now it's working. That's why it's very important to pull the blend blend space into those 3 dots here. So now I can go back to my work. I can just set the target to 0 and 0, and I can just come back here. I'm just gonna click on start, and I am gonna do the sword blend space. So here on blend, I'm gonna put 3 little dots, and then here I'm gonna click on create point, left click, add animation. No, up, voila. So I just like tap Control Z. So here add animation, voila. It's gonna be sword left. Here is going to be at the top, it's going to be swirl down. Here is going to be swirled right. And here is going to be swirled up. Swirl up. Where is it? Swirl up. Voila. And so now I'm just going to test my swirl. So voila. And my swirl, because it's not on loop, it just play one time, which is good. So like I can just come here, and if I move that, let's see. Okay. here okay, here okay, and here okay. So everything works well. I'm just going to reset my target point, my blend position to be at 0 and 0. So like this, we don't have any error, and that's good. So now that we have done that, basically now we need to call that through our code. So there's one thing that is very important here that I'm going to show you is like when you go to root, you can see that here you have a play mode travel. This is what we're going to use. And so basically that's what we're going to call through our code. But first what we need to do is we need to connect our different states together. So for that we need to just adjust them like this. I'm just going to adjust them nicely. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do something like this. Voila. And so now here what we need to do is we need now to connect our different states. So for that I'm just going to select my state and organize them a little bit better. So I'm going to do something like this, voila. And so how do I connect them? I need to connect them with that connect node here. And that connect node here, I can just after that go from one state to another state by left clicking on my mouse or trackpad. And then I can play. But notice the color here. You can see the color is green. And this is because we have here an auto load option that's going to load automatically our animation. Here we need to untick that. And so now we can continue to create other connection like this one. And here we can do this one here, and we can do this one here. And we're going to leave it like that for now. So now that we have that, we have created our the connection in our state. I'm just making it a little bit better like this. No, that's not what I was looking to do. Voila. So I'm going to put here like this, and this one like this. Voila. Okay, so now we have done that. We need to continue to work on our animation tree. And now what we need to do is we need to call that animation tree through our code. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. So now we need to use our animation tree through code. So how do we do that? First, we need to go back to the script, and here we need to make some change. This is up to you. If you don't want to use the animation tree, you can keep going on with like the code as it is set up. Me, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to just comment the function anim here. I'm going to comment that as well. And I'm going to also comment the function update sword anim. I don't delete that. Don't delete them for now because I'm going to potentially use some stuff like this in the future. So that's that. Here I'm going to remove that here, and I'm going to remove it from here too. And I'm going to also remove this one here. And I'm just going to put pass for my sword. Okay. So now what I want to do is here I want to get access to my animation tree inside my script. So for that I need to create some variables. So I'm going to go at the top, and here at the top I'm going to create just under direction. Here I'm going to create two things. I'm going to first create an already var, because our node is already present into our the player hierarchy tree. So it's like we need to use already for that, for reaching it. So here already var, and I'm gonna call it anim underscore tree, and I'm gonna set it equal to $ animation tree. Voila. This will be here. What we're going to do is like we're going to use set get. So like set get is like a sort of method of programming where we are getting information that we have set it before. So here our animation player is having the animation of our character. But now that we have created our animation tree, that's the animation tree that we're going to use to trigger that animation player. So we need to set the animation tree here, and like this we can access the information that we have inside the animation tree, and then we can use those information into the getter that we're going to create now. So it's going to be at already, and here it's going to be var, and here I'm going to set it equal to anim underscore state, and then here what we're going to do is we're going to create the getter. So for that, we're going to say anim underscore tree, which is the function, the variable that we have created here. And then here, we're going to say dot get. And then we're going to look for parameter playback. So we're going to have it here. It's just right there, as you can see right here, parameter playback. And this, if you go back to the animation tree, you can go here, parameter, in that menu here, parameter, and here you have playback. And this is what hold our state into the animation tree. So now we have done that, what we can do is we can access that. And we need to access it where we need to use it. So in our function where we are like checking if we are pressing a key or not. So our input movement in our move function. So here, when our input movement are not equal to 0, we want to access the information that we have here into our animation state and animation tree. So for doing so, what we need to do is like we come here, we make some space, and here what I want to do is like I want to say anim underscore tree dot set. And then here what we're going to do is we're going to just get each blend position of each parameter that we have created. And we have them here. Parameter idle blend position, parameter swap position, parameter walk blend position. So here I'm going to do that. And then here we need to have another information that is our input movement variable that we have created here that holds our all our input. So here what we need to do is we just need to put a comma, and then we need to just reference our input movement. Then what we can do is like we do the same for the other state, so anim3.set, and here we're gonna get this time parameter walk blend position input underscore movement, and then we're gonna again do that anim3.set, and then here is gonna be our sword position. And again, input movement. And so now we have done that, we can then use our getter, so the one we have created here that holds our anim state. And here now that we have set all of this state, we can get the anim state here and say dot travel. And here we're gonna say walk. And so when we will press a key, like one of the key that we have like stored here, so left, right, up, down, then our animation state will travel to the walk state, which means that it will arrive here, animation tree, it will take a look at our parameter here, and it will take a look at the one that is called walk, and then here it will just like open it like this, and it will say okay, now it's time to walk, and it will activate this blend space that we have created here. That's how the animation tree works. And you can see that the way we have it here, like we have way less code. So that's a very good thing. But now what we need to do is we need to also call that animation state when we are not pressing any input. So here on the function, the if statement that handles that, here, input movement double equal to vector2.0, we need to say anim state, and here we need to make it travel to idle. So idle. And then finally, we need to also do that for the sword. So here we need to go to our sword function, and here we're going to say anim underscore state dot travel, and this time we're going to take a look at our sword. Voila. And so now with all that done, normally it should work. Let me just take a look if I haven't forgot anything. I don't think I did. So direction, so let's see there. Let's see. So the game is launching, our animation is playing, I can still walk, I can go in all directions, and you can see that now we don't have the problem anymore of our player being frozen when we are like pressing two key. And so let's see now if our sword is working well. Yes, it works, it works, it works, it works, and it works. And so now we have our animation that is displayed perfectly. Perfect. There's one thing that we can set up though. It's like this is this is your personal preference. But basically what I would like to do is like here when we are like pressing, for example, if I press up and right, you can see that's my walk right animation that display. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want to display the up animation. So for that, what we can do is we can go back to our animation tree right here. And in our walk animation, we can just change some stuff. So I'm just going to put that a little bit bigger. And so you can see that here we have 1, -1, 1, 1. On the y-axis, what we can do is like we can, instead of having 1, we can say 1.1. It's gonna just shrink a little bit more, like it's gonna just increase a bit more, our blend space. And here I can say 1 as well. And so now here what we're gonna do is like, now that we have put 1.1 and 1.1 here, so I'm clicking here on select, I'm selecting my my node that is holding my animation, and instead of leaving it on 1 like it is here, I can put it a little bit more down and put it at 0.9, something like this, voila. And so now I can put it here, 0.9, voila, no, not 0.8, 0.9, voila, up. And so now, if I launch the game, I put it on big. If I press the up arrow key and the right arrow key, you can see that now it's my animation up that is playing. And if I, for example, I go down and left, is my walk down animation that is displayed. So that's something that you can use if you want to display certain animation. That's basically the logic of creating an animation tree and to use it. And so now that we have done that, but we have like we have a solid character that is moving well, that has like a sword, that is animated nicely. And so now we can continue to move on to the next part of this course. So see you in the next lecture. So that's it for me. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it's the case, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Also, click on my link and consider buying my course if you're interested, because it helps me a lot to continue to make video on this channel, because the channel is not monetized, and also it helps me a lot to make my own game as well. I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!